thing
Yeah,
help keep
get
it
it.
from
Yeah,
stuttering
maybe.
and dropping and, kind of get it, I don't
Yeah,
know, flowing.
we're good. We're here. We're
Yeah.
hoping that
All
we
right.
have no flaws and drops and lags
I
and
know. We're not professionals. We don't have professional equipment
no
and we don't have super high speed, you know,
internet.
internet. So you get
Sorry.
what you get here. So we had some hiccups in the last episode, but we talk over each other because sometimes there's a lag. And anyway, but I think we're okay this morning. So, all
So far,
right.
so
Well, what
good.
are you sharing with me today?
Well, so bear with me. This may take a few minutes.
Uh-oh.
I I don't know what happened. Something happened like in November. Probably a pinched nerve. I'm guessing it's a pinched nerve because the ache and pain and sensation moves a little bit, but I didn't know if it was a nerve like in my back that was causing everything, or if it was a like because the majority of the isolation of the pain and annoyance is in my like near my perineal nerve, so I didn't know if it was there.
I don't
It's
even
just
know what
like
that is.
the perineal nerve is like right, it's on the side of your leg, like at the top of your like by your
Oh,
knee, but slightly. It's like if you want to take a kill shot to somebody, you hit
oh,
them
okay.
there
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it'll drop you. Like it does,
Right.
like just because it's a zinger. So so
Mm-hmm.
the discomfort is mostly there, but it's also like causing tightness, like in my hamstring and kind of all up and down. So I'm like, okay, well maybe it's not. Anyways, so if I start on the left side and just work my way up underneath the little toe, if I stay, I thought, right, I'm doing hot yoga, we'll stretch, it'll get better, right? That's going to help it. Did not, got worse. So then I'm like, okay, I'll make a doctor's appointment. That took 3 months to
Oh,
get the
Jesus.
appointment because I could go to urgent care, but it's really not. So we'll just like,
Right.
fine, I'll just live with it. If it gets significantly worse, then I'll go to urgent care. So we see the doctor. It might be this. It might be this. We got some X-rays. We go to PT, the chiropractor, all the things. It's getting way better. It's slowly but surely. But this is the symptoms, and I like. And how do you figure out what exactly it is? Okay, so if in yoga when I'm doing balancing things on my left foot, underneath my pinky toe is sharp like burning sensation. On top of my foot, in between the second and third toe from the pinky, the next toe and the next toe over, I get like numbing, tingling sensation. I get kind of what feels a little bit like a shin splint, but it's not. Then the deep, like burning, shifting pain, like where the perineal is, if I like twist a certain way or if I bend my leg. The tightness all up my hamstring. I got a lot of pain in my hip. The like clicking when you move your leg certain ways in the front of your
Mm.
hip. Some like tingling, burning sensation in like my butt and lower back. That's just the left side. Then, because I broke the wrist, then part of the reason why I do the yoga is to try and strengthen that, but it's also creates kind of some problems because it's
Mm-hmm.
weak.
Right.
So then I get pain in the wrist, and then I have this weird like when I rotate, like tightness and pain and discomfort in my forearm and in my elbow. So he's been kind of adjusting the elbow stuff. So I got like a little brace because sometimes I sleep, I do this, and that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I got a brace for the elbow, which is fine. It helps. It's like $12, but
Yeah.
like the first time I put it on, I had like an inch on my nose, and I went to do it, and I couldn't reach it. And it made me laugh. Um,
uh,
yeah. So that, and then, but then I have like actual like pain in my lower back on the right side. So I don't know if that is causing the left. So
you're
nonetheless, I'm a little
overcompensating or something, or what does the doctor say? What does the doctor think it is?
well. It's a pinch nerve, right?
Pinched nerve. Yeah.
L5, S1, in the this or the it's either L5 or L6 or L4. I don't know, but like it's mostly, and the chiropractor's like, oh, it feels more tender here, and so he's adjusting, and it's like, like I said, slowly but surely it's getting better, but it's
Yeah.
just like if it's one little pinched nerve, it's all of it,
Yeah. It's going to affect other things. Well,
all of it,
I
the whole
find that
side.
because we have the Salu Spa, I find that getting in there and stretching while you're in water
Yeah.
it's so much easier. You can move a lot more in the water and you're
Yeah.
not, you don't have gravity working against you so much. So I find that helps with, you know, when I'm really, really feeling it after I work. Okay, so I'm normally off Sunday and then maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And I've really discovered that I need that break. I can't work
Yeah.
5 days straight. I can't
No,
do
it's
it.
rough.
And I had to do it because of the Memorial Day holiday. I had that Monday off, but then I worked Tuesday through Saturday. By Saturday, I was a pile. Just when you're doing physical work like that. And so I find that getting in the water and really giving myself a good stretch really helps.
The
It's
hot
just
yoga
easier to do it. Yeah.
helps
And the
for
water's
real.
hot too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Anyways,
I had
so
sciatica. I mean, it was bad when I first
yeah,
started this job, but now I think my body's adjusted and I'm able to pinpoint, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to stretch this, to kind of get things
yeah.
back in alignment as we
Yeah,
age.
yeah. Well, and I have like one leg is I think everybody one leg is slightly
Hmm.
higher, lower than
Yeah,
the
I'm
other, and
tilted.
so they gotta. Yeah, everybody is, and so it's
Everybody's
like you gotta
tilted.
adjust the hips, and I think there is a some sort of degenerative hip disorder that's in the family, but
Hmm.
I don't know for sure because they're all passed away, and yeah, it's
Well,
just
another thing, at one point I was having a lot of pain in one of my hips, and I found that changing my shoes helped.
yes,
That definitely helps. And even if it could be a brand new pair of shoes, but something
yeah,
slightly off, and you
yep.
don't realize it until you wear them for, some substantial amount of time. So, yeah.
Too many
Well,
things to.
I
So
know.
yeah,
I
so
feel your pain.
yep. So a little chiropractor, a little. The one thing I will say is that they are offering um at home like
Hmm.
physical therapy, which is
Telehealth.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've been I've done physical therapy for so many different various things. Like I know how to do most of
Hmm.
it. So they she just sets up a program and you like I watch the like half of them I don't need to watch the instructions, but if I'm like, oh, I'm not quite sure what this one is, you can
Right.
watch it. And then you just do it and you just reply to the text, yes, I did it. I'm like, this is way easier than spending $25 and physically going in.
Right.
Now, there's obviously some benefits to going in because they can do the hands on stuff, but
Right. Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I can do it in the comfort of my own home at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. I think I'm due for a good massage. I need to find a massage place here
Yeah.
that's not super expensive. That'll just, okay, here, hit these three spots and we're done. I don't need I don't need all the whole spa experience. I just need,
Yeah.
just
If is there a massage envy in the general area,
um
which is a monthly
yes.
subscription
Yeah, there is.
place?
It's next to Total Wine
Oh, great. Perfect.
and a
I think
taco shop that
as
we
it
like. So,
as it should be.
yeah, you have to get a
It's
subscription though,
you
yeah.
don't have to because you can do the introductory
Right.
offer, which gives you like the one massage for a little bit. Like you get a
Mhm.
discount on it if you don't want to sign up for it. So you can, I think it's like $90 or something, which is
Mhm.
still little. Yeah, I
Yeah.
here, anyways. I
Anything
don't know
under
what it's out
100
there.
for like an hour,
60 minute dip.
50 to
Yeah,
60 minutes is usually
yeah,
pretty good deal. Yeah.
yeah. And then
I'll have to look
they have
into
the
that.
list of the different massage therapists and then what they're like what levels they do
Right.
because some don't do the deep tissue, but
Right.
that's what I want to hurt the next day.
See, I don't. I don't want to hurt. I
I
don't want to
do.
feel like I just, got ran over or was in an accident. And I know that that's the thing. Like that's it's supposed to be like that. I don't want to feel like I just got in a
That's
car
okay.
crash.
Yeah.
But I know that that's how it's supposed to be with the deep
You
tissue.
gotta
You have to
you gotta
feel it
dig
the
it
next
in.
day, or it's pointless. So, all right. Well, my Kersey is, I used to have this really cute little one white eyebrow hair, and I'd, see it. I'd like be doing my eyebrows, and oh, there it is, and I'd just pull it out. Well, he over the years has come back with friends. Now
As they
it's
do.
a whole thing, and it's
Whole
like trying to
patch.
get that one without pulling, nine out and having a little like bald spot, and it's a whole thing. So, I have the super, super sharp, grippy, fine tweezers to just really hone in on that get him out. But yeah, he brought friends, so I'm not happy about that. We're recording this on 6/7. Is that even a thing
Oh,
anymore?
I don't think so. Maybe
I don't think
I
it
feel like
is.
that's going to make us sound old.
It is,
Now,
but I saw
yeah,
that this morning. I was scrolling, and I'm like, oh, it's 6/7. Huh? Is that even a thing? I don't think so.
so you mentioned the tweezers. So shout out my friend Krista, who she's a esthetician, and she uses Japanese fish deboning
Oh,
tweezers instead of just like regular tweezers,
right.
and I got a set. And let me tell you that because find sometimes like you push it down real hard and it just it doesn't
Yeah.
grip hard enough. Boy, these things grip
Oh, yeah.
like crazy, and they're like
Tweezermans.
$6 or something.
The
Yeah,
Tweezermans are,
yeah,
they're pretty good. That's what I have. You just got to
yeah,
keep them clean, keep them from getting, stuff stuck to them.
yeah,
And you can get them at different angles. You can get the
yeah.
pointy, you can get the side, and those are my go-to. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's my Kersey today. Yeah, pretty pretty shallow, but So today's topic. Now this was inspired by I have a friend who just lost her job recently, not through her own
Accord.
choice. And it's been rough for her. I feel her pain. She was with the company for a long time, and it was kind of a bullshit reason why they fired her. And so it kind of reminded me. You and I both had careers working for corporations. Mine was in hospitality. Yours was in consumer
Consumer
electronics.
electronics.
And so I thought, we've got a lot to say about the ups and downs, ins and outs, forwards and backwards, bend over, take it in the ass, life in corporate America. So let's just get rolling.
I will say that my first like real corporate job was like right, it was in the early 90s. No, yes. I'm trying to think, right? I got to do some math here. Yes, early 90s. Right as computer electronics and consumer electronics and technology is like booming and like going crazy. I worked for a um electronics distribution center. So it was a big call center. There was, 100 people on the phone answering phones, taking orders. There were different divisions based off of the size of your company, and every product under the sun. And it was always right. There was always the end of the month push, the end of the quarter push, and the end of the year push.
Because it was
And
sales, right? This was
it was
essentially
sales.
sales. Okay.
It's a sales.
Mm-hmm.
It is sales, and like you wouldn't believe. And so, and some of it's just it's and for the most part, it was really more like order taking, not
Mm-hmm.
really sales. There were some opportunities where you could upsell, but like if Joe's camera shop didn't need more cameras, they weren't going to order more cameras
Right.
unless there was like a promo or a
Some
special or
ideal.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unless you could
But
offer
they
them
weren't.
something. Yeah.
Right. And then there's sometimes you could make relationships with people and you're like, look, if you just buy this one thing from me right now, like I get that it's going to put you, but I'll give you free shipping, but
Right.
because it's like it's going to give me this
It'll
big
make your
boost.
numbers. Yeah.
Whatever it is, right? So you could use some of those and you could build some relationships. But if we were, and it was mostly at the end of the quarter, not the end of the month, and always at the end of the year, if we were on target or had already hit our number, the senior vice president would load up a cart, like a flatbed cart, and go around the sales floor handing out beers.
During work
Like
hours?
during work hours at like 3 o'clock on a Friday, handing them out if we hit the number.
See, sales is a whole different beast. Yep.
But sales in the early 90s, and
Yeah.
there's no phones, there's no, like, we are not even, we're still pretty analog.
Yeah.
We had, like, 5 people in the company had dial up. Like, you would, you would place the orders, and then you'd have to wait for them to upload,
Right.
and then batch, and then the warehouse, like, this was not real time.
This was
It was
like
like
The Office.
This is a batching.
Sounds like
If
The Office.
you had
TV
like
show.
10 items, right? If you had 10 left in stock on the screen, you had to place the order real quick. There's a chance in an hour when it batched, you missed
You
it.
didn't
Like,
get it. Yeah.
so you had to go back and check your orders to make sure that they
That sounds
got
mainframe.
allocated. Very mainframe. So I just think about like,
God.
and there would be vendors that would come in, and there would be lunches, and there would be happy hours. And I mean, we would have some happy hour parties that, like, straight after work, you'd have people coming in dressed in the same clothes from the day before, like probably still drunk, and like
Their
like
car
it
spent the
wasn't.
night in the parking lot.
It did,
Yeah.
and like hair's all disheveled, and the girl 2 cubicles down also not changed. Like it, it was the wild wild west of like. Oh,
Well,
it
but
was fun
sales
though. It was a good
sales
time.
hasn't changed that much because I was in hospitality, but I was in the timeshare division of hospitality.
Yes.
And selling timeshares is like selling funeral plots. I mean, it's something people don't, you have to convince people it's something that
Yeah.
they need right now. And we used to call sales the dark side because they just did things that we were like,
Yeah.
how did that person not get fired for that? And I honestly believe that sales is something that you're either born with it or you're not born with it. It's not something you can really learn and be really truly good at just by trying to learn. You have to really have that kind of a personality to do
Yes.
sales. I always thought
That
you
is
were good
true.
at sales. You have that personality for sales. Now, timeshare is just a whole different world. And fortunately, I didn't have to deal directly with sales. My resort was not a branded resort for the company. It was a managed resort that kind of got pushed in under a contract, and I did not have active sales, but the people that did, oh boy, it was like, you know, just
Mhm.
night and day. Because sales would tell these people anything they wanted to hear
Yeah.
to sell them a timeshare. And the resorts had to, we called it deliver on the promise. And that was kind of difficult sometimes because they overpromised.
Yeah.
But, you know, we called sales the dark side. A lot of the focus was on sales. Their annual awards celebrations were in the Cayman Islands, you
Mhm.
know, and exotic places like that. Ours were in like Orlando. Really? Who the hell wants to go to Orlando again? So sales really got a lot of the attention. And, but yeah, that's one of those things. I think everybody at some point in their life tries a sales job, and that's when you realize I can't do this.
I'm not cut for
So
this.
I'm not cut for this. But yeah, I can understand how sales. I remember talking to someone in HR during a training class or something, and she had come from the sales side, and she was telling us stories kind of out of school, which is very rare for HR. And she was like, "Oh yeah," she said, "I had to fire one of the top performers in the company, and the VP was like." On, you know, constantly calling me like, well, why? Well, can't we do this? Can't we do that? Can't we do this? Can't we do that? And she's like, dude, we've been giving this guy umpteen chances for years, and you're facing a lawsuit from these 3 other employees if he doesn't get fired.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So they were like,
yeah.
okay. I mean, but it was just, she's like, we've tried everything. We've tried everything. We can't. We
Yeah.
just can't.
There was at another very large, very popular consumer electronics company. There was allegedly, because I don't have facts, because I'm not privy to that, because there were non-disclosures and settlements signed. And I believe that person may still work with the company who had some accusations, and it's like, who do you have fucking pictures of?
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, let's
Well,
just give some money, sign a contract, and move on.
well, and that leads me to the whole world of HR, which when you first start working for a company, you think that HR is there to help the employees. We're all about morale and this, that, and the other. And we love our staff and we want to make sure everybody's happy. And we want to make sure that you have what you need to do the best job you can. And we're here to protect you from big, bad, corporate people. And oh, hell no, it's exactly the opposite. HR is there to protect the company from assholes like you who are going to weasel your way in there and sue the company for everything they have. So once you realize that HR is not your friend, they're not there for you, then it's kind of makes things clearer.
Yeah, it's lawsuit management.
It's lawsuit management. Now, I do follow some accounts on either Instagram or TikTok that'll just pop up and I'll say, wow, that's really good information. And they are HR people, in the field that are, or either used to be in the field or whatever, that are kind of dispensing free advice. And the best one I've seen so far is if and HR would always ambush you. It was never, let's set up a meeting at this time to discuss this. It's, you get a random call from HR on a Friday afternoon. Do you have a few minutes? No, I don't. I don't have a few minutes. And they would you'd be up against the wall like, what? Where'd this come from? And I saw one that said, anytime you get into that situation where you feel like you're being put in the hot seat and you're going to be disciplined and something's going to happen to you for maybe something you said or did, the answer is always, can you provide the legal basis for that decision?
Oh.
Yes. And I'm like, ooh, good one. Then they have to go through and scour through all the company policies and, and secondly, the second part of that is after this conversation, you follow it up in an email where you summarize what was discussed.
Per our conversation.
That way, now you have a paper trail and it's in writing and they can't come back and say, well, we didn't discuss that. Oh, yes, we did. Here it is right here.
Now, the other thing that I learned as a manager is if you have an official business write-up, you do not have to sign it, which doesn't matter. You want to sign it, but
not signing it doesn't mean that it not
still goes
valid.
In your file. Yeah. It just your signature just means you're acknowledging that the conversation happened and that this is what it is. However, they don't tell you, and if you have the opportunity to write or give your side of the story. Yeah. So I had I had somebody who made an accusation that was wildly not true, and it was a gossipy rumor thing. And so then I wrote my side, and they were like, "Oh, now it makes sense that it's you." Now I think some of those things are a little harder now because there's the ability to have way more evidence, and
emails and texts
there was very little
HR of that. They don't want to deal in opinions, they want to deal in facts. And
yes,
when you start whipping out the notebook and documenting things, that's what scares them. But HR, we'd go to these meetings and of course HR would be there. And we were actually told one time by one of our senior leaders, it's like, you guys should really include the HR people in your, or you're going out for a drink or you're going to go down to the casino. And we're like, no, because they are watching. Oh, well, this is an off-site event. No, they're always watching, and you know damn well they are. And I had an example of that. We were at an awards trip. So these were everybody that qualified. Your scores were great. You get to go on this trip. And we were in San Diego. And one of the days they organize, you can pick from one of these 5 different things to do, sign up. I think one was the zoo and one was, we went to go see the Battleship Midway. There's stuff like that. You could play golf. You could they'll take you to the mall, shopping trip. Well, one of the choices was kayaking in La Jolla Cove. Okay, this is mid to late April we're talking about. I'm like, I'm not getting in that water. First of all, it's not sunny. It's May gray, June gloom. The temperature is maybe 65 degrees. Well, the water is like probably,
It's
I don't know,
50.
50.
It's cold.
And oh, well, you're not going to get wet. Oh, yeah, you are. I don't
Yeah,
care what
you
you
are.
say. So there was a group that went and chose that, and half the HR team was on that excursion as well. And they took one look and they said, "Oh no, we're not doing this. We're not getting in the water." And they left and went to Old Town and went to a bar and drank the rest of the afternoon. Well, that evening at our, dinner function, I'm standing there and I'm kind of half listening to a conversation. I'm like, "Oh, well, this is getting heated." And somebody pulled me away and they said, "You know what? We really shouldn't be listening to this." I go, "Maybe we should." So
They're like,
someone from
but
the
it's so good.
HR group went to the senior VP of the company and was, they didn't stay with the group and they left and they went on their own and did everything else. And this was supposed to be a group activity. And it was like, fuck you.
Yeah. We're adults. Like, come
We're
on.
not going to just like go stick our asses in cold water just because we had to stay with the group. No, we're grown ass adults. If we want to go drink all afternoon, we will. So then the fact that she had that conversation with the VP, then that turned into a whole thing. And I was like, oh, this is
Yes.
bullshit. So after that, we were like, no, I don't want to do anything with HR ever again. I don't care. They're on their own. So yeah, exactly.
I will say this is probably my favorite story. I was a regional field training manager for about a year, and I had 13 field trainers throughout the Western United States, and I inherited. Somebody hired this person, and they were brand new, and there were like the first big group get together was at CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, the largest consumer electronics show, and it is back in the day. The
Nuts.
party, like I was rolling into the hotel at 4 a.m. to get 2 hours of sleep, to change and get dressed, to go back and stand on the floor for 8 hours and talk to people.
It's like every stereotypical salesman's convention in Vegas,
It's the biggest convention.
Orlando, pick your
It's
city,
the
Philadelphia,
But
Yep.
CES in the 90s, there was a major event every night and
Mm-hmm.
and there were bands and free booze and parties, and it also coincided and overlapped with the Adult Video Net Awards. So like as CES is starting to wind down, the AVN is starting to roll. Like
Porn convention is in full swing.
is in full. I'm telling you, it's the wildest
I am
visual
sure.
experience. It is. It's banana lands. So clearly, there's a lot. I mean, it's Vegas. There's alcohol everywhere. So this particular, I don't even remember his name. He was probably like 24, 25. I don't know that he'd ever even really been out of Houston all that much. And this is it, right? It's everything is paid for. So somebody thought didn't know if he was actually drunk on the floor or just hungover. He was drunk. BT dub. So like we had to watch him, we had to pull him aside, then we sent him like we assumed he was just hungover, so we sent him back to his room. We were and then so that was like first, so that was right. That's the paper trail that starts, and then little by little, but he's off on his own in Houston doing his thing, and so I go out to work with him, and I've concerned, but he's not like drunk while we're working, but he's not good at his job. And so then I get a call on a Monday, maybe a Tuesday, or like maybe he missed something or something happened, so we're trying to worry. You had a company car, and you because you're driving around, it's just cheaper for them to give you company cars. He had gotten in a DUI and crashed the car and was in jail for the DUI. So I'm like, he called, right? He's like, hey, he's telling me like, oh, I was in a car accident with the car. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, and I got a DUI. And I'm like, Okay, like you could have not told me. Like, glad that you
It's like
did,
I
but
would
like you
never
could have
know.
just said, like, is that right? Well, I mean, eventually, like
Eventually,
the paper trail would have come up, and it's not quite as fast as it is now. But
you'd get all the
eventually,
all
somebody,
the
right?
company would get all the citations from the
The
DMV.
company,
Like,
yes,
what is
right.
this
They're gonna
on
start
our
getting
vehicle?
notices on the vehicle, right? Like the
Hmm.
police report, that kind of stuff. You have to get that
Right.
stuff when you have a car accident.
Yeah.
And so, well, unfortunately, we did have to dismiss him. He was not allowed to work. The news was not good for him. But then, so we also had like, you had your FedEx Airway bill number, because when you had to ship stuff to and from, you would just fill out the FedEx number and
Hmm.
like you didn't pay for it. For a year and a half, he was using the FedEx Airway bill number and nobody noticed. It was just shipping shit and charging it. I,
Like all of his family's Christmas gifts,
I don't know.
or
Maybe he moved.
ordering
I don't
stuff
know what he was.
online. Oh,
Whatever.
here I got a
Anything.
number.
He's just
Ship it.
putting the FedEx number in, and it's like, who and he? Where is? Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorite stories. That was like
Well,
mind-boggling. It's like, oh my
and
god,
that's
poor
the kind
kid.
of thing when you work for a corporation that's so huge like that.
Yeah.
You get that in your mind where, oh, they're not going to miss this because they have
Yeah.
plenty of money and they owe it to me because I put in this
Or
many
but like,
hours and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you're still going to get fired for that. Even if maybe
yeah.
technically I agree with you, sure. But you know what? You still can't take that. That's still considered
Or
stealing.
you or you tried it once
Mm-hmm.
and like you didn't get caught, so then you just kept doing it more and more. There was
Yeah.
also now this is allegedly, I don't have proof, but there were, so you had, when you managed a large account, you had marketing dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you had $3 million a year for marketing and they had set programs and you just pay for the programs and you do it. Well, there were some people that got creative with some of those marketing programs
Put their
that
kids through
would
school.
they would work with the company, because the company was also, most of the companies that had some of these practices, ironically, were based out of Miami.
Mm.
So the sales rep would go to the sales manager or the marketing manager and be like, yo, charge me 50K for this program. It really only costs 20K and you and I'll split the
Mm-hmm.
30K.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, geez, like,
Oh yeah. Or, well,
it's wild.
in my case, it was, oh, we're getting new carpeting for the hotel. Hey,
Mm,
can you
mhm.
come do my house while you're at it? And I'll make you our preferred vendor. That kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There was, that leads me to, I had a thought now and now I forgot it. I don't know. It'll come
Yeah,
back to
it'll
me.
come back.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I would say that probably the biggest advantage to working for a corporation is the benefits that they can offer you.
Sure.
And if you are working for a corporation, get everything you can out of them. You know, if you plan on
Yeah.
staying there for a significant amount of time, your loyalty will not be rewarded. You can get fired after 25 years and they don't
Yep.
give a shit. So you
Yep.
put in all this time and effort and energy, blood, sweat, and tears, and basically at the end, they can dismiss you like nothing.
A lot
And
of
depending on,
yeah,
yeah, depending
tuition
on what state you're
reimbursement
in. Yep.
programs, all kinds of that kind of stuff. Do it
Benefits,
all.
PTO,
Yep.
401k, employee stock,
Do it all.
tuition reimbursement, get it all because that is, you know, you might as well. It's money on the table. It's free money. And like I said, they won't give two shits once you're gone, but get everything while
And
you're there.
I will say, because of the, potential legal actions, it is still fairly difficult to dismiss an employee who is underperforming. We had
Hmm.
one where you wrote somebody up for, let's say, not coming in on time. So you put them on a performance plan. We start working on that, and they're not coming in on time. And then halfway through that performance plan, they start, um, you know, a lot of, I'm just using this because it's super easy to example, a lot of misspelling on their typing. Okay, well, now you have to put them on a performance plan for that one. You
Right.
can't use that against like,
The
they
clock
just
starts
start
over.
compounding.
Yeah.
It starts over for that thing. And it's just, it's a
Hmm.
whack-a-mole situation. And it's like,
Yeah.
there's another fun story I had. There was another employee of mine who I managed, who at the time, I liked him. He was really good. He was go-to. The people liked him. He had a good relationship. But I didn't know he had a reputation and had twice previously filed workman's comp claims and received settlements. And so one day I get a call from this corporation, had an actual corporate nurse, right? Because they
Right.
did, and said, hey, we were going to send an ergonomics team because he was complaining of wrist pain because we gave him a laptop, but we didn't give him a desk. And so he was using it on his lap, and his wrists now hurt.
And it's called
sorry,
a
what?
laptop.
But like, we
Yeah,
didn't
I know,
give
but
you a desk. Like like I work at my kitchen table, but like no. So they had to send the ergonomics team. We had to get him a desk. He had like he had physical therapy, like all of this, and I'm like,
and
you
yeah,
have got to be kidding
that
me.
is what corporations are afraid of. That's why they have lawyers and HR teams because they are targets for people
Yeah.
like that. There are
Yes.
people who that's all they do. They find
Yeah.
loopholes, they find ways
Yep.
to just, get in there. And that's why I think my friend got fired was there's
Yeah.
somebody who is working the system,
Mm-hmm.
pulling out
Oh
every
yeah.
card,
Yep.
and, you know,
Yeah.
shot it at her because maybe they want her job. Who the hell knows? But yeah, that's it's crazy how that's an industry is
Oh yeah.
let's rip
It's a
off the
thing.
corporation.
Yep.
So, I mean, not that corporations don't do heinous things every day, and you kind of are. It's at your own risk if you're going to go work there. There's, like I said, the benefits are great, but look out, you're just a number on a spreadsheet. But it's just crazy how that's just a whole industry.
Yeah. Now I
Um,
will say we tried to have fun when
mhm.
we could, especially at CES. So we created this whole like game, and it wasn't anything specific, but it was like anytime you saw something unique,
Mhm.
you had to find somebody else that was part of the team and show them, and whoever showed first got the point. And it was a
Oh,
random point system, and we randomly gave points, and there were really no winners. It was just right, like, oh, that's 5 points. Oh no, I'll give you the 10 for that. So like, right, there's always the guy in the kilt. There's always right. There's like always a guy in a kilt, right? Or
So did you have a
as
bingo? Did you have a bingo card of preset things you had to find, or you
we
just
did,
made them
we
up?
did. No,
You
we
say,
didn't. We
okay,
kind of made them up.
today's is this. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like a right like the guy in the kilt because he comes every year. He's the same guy. Mark
Okay.
Cuban, right?
Yeah.
Like Mark Cuban always was there, and Mark Cuban would go walk the CES sales floor by himself, just like checking things out and talking to people. And like half of the people didn't even really know who he was or
Mm-hmm.
cared. So like there were a handful of things that was like, okay, the first person to see it gets the
Right.
point.
Because you know
But
it's going to be
then
there because it's there every year. Yeah.
right, but then we'd see something that was like, what? Like you gotta come see this, right? Like so one of them, and this was over during that overlap, was a man walking a woman with a choke holder and a leash. Right? So it's like that was like big points. That was like 10 points. Like I did not expect to see that today. It was just silly stuff like red tennis
Yeah.
shoes or just
Because you
oh
had the porn
god.
convention overlapping on there, So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Now, I will say that one year, because I think whatever event we were going to was in the same hotel as the actual awards. And so we were walking through and we're like, why are these people all standing around? And like it was the red carpet. So we stopped for a few minutes just to see the crazy. And there was the people the people watching the red carpet were so weird and so bizarre. Like there was a guy who had like a list that he was checking off, and he was like mumbling to himself when he'd see certain people, and he'd be like, oh, she has the award for blah blah blah, and she's the first person to ever do blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't
Like a
want,
super
like
fan. Super fandom
dude,
right
go.
there.
He's in a basement. You know he's in a bit like
You know he has
he's-
a TikTok or
He's got a-
Instagram account where he's going to give you those stats. You do a search, his site comes up because he's documented it all. on his own.
So weird. So weird.
Yeah,
Yeah. But man, it is
that's
the
a fun game.
most surreal, bizarre experience.
We used to play Fashion Police at our meetings,
Yeah. Yep.
and basically kind of comment on when cell phones. I mean, there was pre-cell phone, and then everybody had cell phones. So you're texting each other through the entire presentation. Nobody's paying attention, and
No.
we started playing Fashion Police. And so, you know, what was the funniest was, as women, we have to assess everybody's outfit and, oh, that's cute, or oh, I wouldn't have chosen that, or that doesn't look right on her. And the guys, especially the gay guys, were the best to sit with because they did Fashion Police. They tore the men apart, they tore the women apart. It was like, okay.
Oh, and they
Now,
always look so good.
if you're presenting on a stage in front of your entire management team, well, about 2 to 300 people,
Yes.
and you don't have banging ass tan Florida legs, and you're wearing a
Cover 'em.
skirt, put on some hose
Yeah,
because
for
we're
sure.
staring at every scar and
Yeah.
blotch and your white ass legs. I have no idea what you're
And
saying
if
because
it's
I'm staring at your legs.
yeah, and if it's bigger, like 500, then you've screens,
Yeah,
and like you're up on the screen.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's where I learned the sometimes, always, never rule when it comes to a man's sport coat and the buttons. And, and then they would say, okay, well, I wouldn't have worn those shoes, or that he should have brown shoes on. Or we had the head of the VP of finance used to fold up a dollar bill like a handkerchief and put it in his pocket. And they would just go, oh, so tacky. I mean, it was funny. It was funny to kind of just sit there and, we could care less what they were talking about. And
Oh, yeah, we
and
never listen to him.
the no sock thing with suits,
Oh yeah,
for
that's
a while
big
that was
right
a
now.
thing, or is it
It
back
still
now?
is.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the VP of sales would either be in flip-flops if we were in a tropical place, or no socks. No socks. And it was like, okay. Ew.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that look. I don't think it. I don't think it looks right. If you are in a suit, and it's a trend, and people can do
Hmm.
it if they want, and then they're probably wearing no-show socks or whatever. But I don't think it. I think when you have the actual sock that goes with the suit, I think it looks
Hmm.
better. But
I
I'm
love a
also
character sock, a funny sock,
sure,
a wild pattern sock, because you don't see it till they sit down. It's not
right,
like these socks are coming at you. It's when they sit down, you're like, oh, that's
right.
funny. And
But you
yeah,
really notice when they're not like when they're just standing when they're not wearing any at all because it
right.
just I'm not a fan. I think anybody cares that I'm
Yeah.
not a fan, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was some of the fun at our corporate events. Now, some of our awards trips, so it used to be everybody went every year, and then they would hand out the awards to the top
Mhm.
performing resorts. Well, then they got wise and said, you know what, it's getting too expensive to do a
Mhm.
free trip for everybody to, some off-site location. We already do a managers conference every year. We already do individual regional conferences. So they made everybody start qualifying for it. So we had certain metrics we had to hit. And by God, I got there and I was hitting them consistently year after year. And then they decided to change the rules.
Of
And
course.
so we were sitting at an awards ceremony, and I was looking at the people at the table with me, and I said, well, who got the top award? Because they didn't say. They just said, you're going. And, we'll announce the winners at the actual awards dinner. So I thought, okay. And I'm sitting with the gal who usually would win it every year. And I'm like, did you get it? She said, no, I would have known by now if I was getting it. Well, they changed the rules where it wasn't you were the top performer. It was all of the D students got C's. Yay, they're our winners this year. And we all sat there, we looked at each other and we're like, this is bullshit. And we look over at our boss at the next table and he's like, I
Don't
don't
look at
know.
me.
And this is why you have a most improved award for a handful of individuals, not, oh, you all did so well, so you get the top award. Because this year we based it on how much you improved, not, oh, you were at a 98% and you went to 99. Yeah, but that's only 1%. These people
Right.
jumped, in the tens of percents. So we sat there and we're like, mother effer. And so the next year, because of course, they send you a survey after the event. Well, anonymous be damned, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm putting my
I'm
name on
telling
this
you,
one.
I'm putting my name on this one. And I went straight to my boss and he was just like, he said, I was on the nomination committee and I can tell you that this has turned into a popularity contest and they just picked their favorites. They picked their
Yeah.
favorites. He said,
They
I
pick
had
their
to,
favorites and they say, what metrics can we use to make this work? For sure.
he
Yeah.
was like, I went to bat for you because you deserve to be there. And I was like, okay, thank you. He said, but some of these, it's the same people every year.
Yeah.
Or it's, oh, this is my person that I handpicked and I'm grooming them and I'm mentoring them and they deserve to go. This'll motivate them to keep wanting to go. Okay. So
But when you so if you do something like, right, like here's the salesperson in me. If you do something like a most improved, guess what? Next year I'm gonna suck as shit because I'm gonna bottom myself
Yep.
out on purpose, and then the following year I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking rock it, and then I'm gonna be number one. Like it's
there-
all about winning.
there
I
were
will find a
managers
way
that
to
did
win.
that. They would deliberately
Yes.
torpedo their scores and
Yes.
time it for the quarter so that you'd show a huge improvement the following quarter. And
Yeah.
I didn't have enough energy for that. I was too busy. Oh, and this leads me to another thing is, companies, this is called the Peter Principle, if you've never heard of it. And I thought I
Yep.
came up with it, but I guess apparently not.
Didn't.
So corporations, they don't necessarily want to promote performers. They want to promote people that they can control. They want to promote the less than rock stars because they're going to be more dependent on the people above them. You promote somebody that's not your star performer, but a few notches below, but they'll execute every one of your directives without any friction. They won't question a damn thing. Oh, you want the sites to do this now? Perfect. We got it. We're doing it. That's what they want. They don't want you to say, well, wait a minute, this isn't going to work. Or, you know what, have you thought about this? They don't want to hear that. And also, it protects the leadership stability. You don't have managers popping in and out. You've got them doing what you want. And it minimizes disruption. Corporations do not like disruption. They want to
keeps the machine
guarantee
running.
profits to their stockholders and keep that aspect happy. So, yeah, when I kind of looked it up, I thought, oh, yeah, I've heard of the Peter Principle. I must have absorbed this in my sleep or something and thought I came up with it.
Core memory ingrained.
Oh, but yeah, it's absolutely true. They don't want to hear
Yeah.
your opinion. They just want you to hear that, oh, yeah, I did it. It's done. It's going great. Sure. Here's my numbers. Bye-bye. So, yeah, good times in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Like I said, get everything you can before you get out.
Yeah, we had some great. I mean, I had some great times, some great memories, not some not so great ones, and
Yeah.
I just I've been laid off and fired and quit and promoted and demoted. Like I've all of the things, every single one of them, and I think every time I land somewhere, I feel happier than where I was before.
Mm-hmm.
Like. And it may sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes it's right. Like right now, the job I have now is I enjoy it. I enjoy the people. It's not very stressful. It provides me everything I need. In my life right now today, has everything I want. I'm not looking for promotions. I'm not looking to make a name for me. I've done all that. I just want something that is stable and comfortable with nice people that doesn't stress me out. And that's what I have. And so,
and that's
when
the
I was
point.
35, yeah.
That's the point we get to. It's like, okay, you come out of school, you want to succeed, you want to, just
You want to grow. You want to do
you want
this.
to grow,
climb.
you want money, you want to be
and
like,
maybe
oh,
you
I gotta have
don't.
more money, and I want a title, I want this, I want that, I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's fine, we both had successful careers, but you get to the point where you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this
Yeah.
anymore. There's really no higher that I want to go. So I don't want to keep this pace up anymore. And I just, like you said, I want something peaceful
Yeah.
and I don't have to think a lot. I'm done thinking. I've been thinking for
Yes.
everybody for 30 years.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes there's something that's super challenging, and so like it gets that whole like, oh, I gotta conquer that. Like there's bits and pieces, and sometimes it's just the mundane routine. I don't have to think. I just have
Hmm.
to go, and it's over
Right.
and over and over. And sometimes that's the
Yeah.
day I need. So I have the flexibility to kind of pick and choose whether I want to be like super use my brain or super not use my brain, and it's just
Yeah.
I'm on the downhill.
Yeah. I don't need to think that much at work. And I'm happy at work. I'm singing along
Yes.
to the radio. I'm
Yeah.
like busting a move as I'm cruising,
Yeah.
around and I like to laugh and smile and make other people laugh and smile. And it's like, they've told me at work, they're like, it's just so different when you're not here. I'm like, I know.
I am the ray of sunshine in your day.
I try. But yeah, there's really no reason to not have fun. And unfortunately, I would have fun to the extent where, it would get you in a little bit of trouble. And somebody would have to, okay, this is what we're going to say happened, even though I know you did this. Okay. So I did have bosses that tried to protect me, but, they can only do so much. But yeah. And as a woman, I had a female boss tell me, she said, I prefer to work for male bosses because they're more predictable. You know
Oh,
what they're
way
going
more
to do.
predictable.
And I'm
For
like, well, what does
sure.
that say about me working for you? She just kind of laughed. She's like, well, I think I'm pretty predictable. And I'm like, yeah, you are. So, but no, it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I believe that's true. Let's see. What else have we got?
That's all I
Um,
got. I
we
did for
always,
our I got some fun what you talking about Willis's when we get
okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one last thought about corporate meetings and events is we'd always get the lecture, like the final meeting prior to leaving, or hey guys, I know it's off site and we're gonna have a good time and everything's free flowing, but eyes and ears, eyes and ears. We'd be like, okay,
Let's
and
not
we'd
let's
always
not let's not call 911 this trip.
they would say we lose one every year.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want that to be you. So yeah, but I mean, and it was it wasn't shocking to me, but it was funny how when you realize that there are so many people that use these uh, events as it's party time. I'm hooking up.
Yeah.
I'm away from the wife and kids. I'm going to be a bad boy. I'm going to be a bad girl. There was one girl, one manager that it was a regular thing that you'd see her the first night and you probably wouldn't see her the rest of the conference. Her name tag would be sitting there on the table with all the other no shows. And you're like, where is she? She would just go out and get wrecked
Okay.
and then like maybe show up like not
Oof.
the following day, but the day after. And it would be like, where is she? We're calling her. She's not answering. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how
That's
she kept her
terrifying.
job for as long as she did.
That's terrifying.
Yep. So, all right. What you talking about, Willis?
So, like, it's not really very specific, but I will say there is always like a catchphrase or a corporate word or corporate lingo
Oh,
or something,
yeah.
and it was like we try and predict which one it was gonna be, and then we would count how many times it was said. And so the
Mm-hmm.
one I hated the most was synergy.
Mm.
Synergy was the worst. It was over and over, and like what does it even mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Synergy, actually, from what I remember, the actual term synergy doesn't necessarily have a positive connotation. It's like groupthink,
Yeah, well,
where
that's what they want.
you get stuck, everybody's
Yes,
thinking the same thing, and then there's no
yes.
room for any
They
new
want us
ideas.
all to come together with the same amount of energy. Like it was just that, and Then there were also two other things in corporate world that I hate. I hated KIPs, KIPs,
Oh.
and I hated the SWOT analysis.
Oh yeah.
Strengths, weaknesses,
Action. Was it?
action.
I don't know.
I don't even. I'm in PTSD thinking about it. KIPs were key, initiative,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
something, or the P's, something. Yeah. So like there are all these things that it's like you had to. It was these routines in putting things together. Like basically, it's an overview of where you at, where you were, where you're at, where you're going, how you're going to get there, and like.
Yeah.
I do that I do that in my weekly reports. I do that in my monthly report. There's an annual, like, if you don't know this by looking at whatever, like, it's like they had to give you some remedial task to prove that you were doing what you were doing. Well,
Right.
either the numbers are there or the numbers not. Like
Action plans.
You know if a salesperson is working or not, because here's the thing. If a salesperson hits their monthly goal in the first week of the month, they're not working the rest of the month.
Right.
If a salesperson is never going to hit their monthly goal for whatever reason, market conditions, inventory, whatever, they're not working that month. So the goal is to try and keep the sales objective as close to hitting as possible, because they're always going to work really, really hard to hit it, because there's dollars,
there's money on the table. Yep.
That's it. It's finding that balance. And if you as a company can find that balance for your salesperson, you will have them working very hard all the time.
Yeah.
You fuck it up and down, that's it. It's over.
I like the I heard this years ago, because during our conferences it was, really focused on operations for us, but there was always some tidbit about sales, like a presentation, or the VP would be there and
For sure.
talk to everybody, because you had to, because that's, we couldn't exist
You
without
have
each
to
other.
do
So,
yeah.
but the expression that was in sales, it's feed the tigers, ride the horses, shoot the dogs. So you have your rock star performers, you have your consistent performers, and then you have the ones that just got to get rid of them. So I always remembered that. I was like, oh, that's good. Even though I'm not in sales, I kind of like that.
You have a guy that hits his quarterly goal in the first 3 weeks of the quarter. Guess what? He's not doing the rest of the quarter.
He's like, I'm
Fucking
on
working.
vacation.
Bye.
I'll check in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my what you're talking about, Willis, is topic related, and it's called. There's a term out there called performance punishment, and it's exactly what you're thinking it is. The more you do, the more you take on, the more you are a rock star performer, the more they dump on you without any extra compensation or acknowledgement, or you do not want to become the go-to person, because then you've got to do everything. And I'll be honest, as a manager, I was a horrible delegator, because as a Gen Xer, I want to do it all myself, because I'm the only one that can do it the way I want it done. And to have to take the time to explain it to a new employee and go through the learning curve and the growing pains, it wasn't worth it for me. That just annoyed me. So that was one of my biggest weaknesses as a manager, was I was horrible at developing people. It was, here, I'm going to train you. We're going to do this. As stuff comes up, I'll train you. But, if I see you can't do it, bypass.
I'm just taking it back. I'm not going to take the extra. Yeah, I'm not taking the extra time to show you.
But there are people that they can do it. They're smart, and they can do it, but they're going to do the bare minimum because they don't want any extra. They're going to play dumb. Like, I'm that non-performer, so I won't get,
it's like the husband who does the dishes poorly so that the wife never asks him to do the dishes again.
Yeah. Well, I've known bartenders like that. You order a fancy drink, they make a terrible version of it, so you don't order it because they don't want to make it, or they don't know how to make it. Yeah. If you don't order one of their 5 drinks, then they can't be bothered. So, well, that's all I got for today.
That's it, man. That is it.
And we've got way more stories, but we can't really tell all of them.
There's a few I can't tell. Sorry. Can't tell.
But, that's our corporate advice that no one asked for.
Well, good luck to you all.
Good luck. I don't know. Gen Z in the workplace. I'm starting to see a lot of videos about that. Some of them are actually getting jobs now. And I think the
Well, I
biggest
saw an
challenge
interesting.
for
Yeah, I
them
thought
is
it.
the social interactions where you have to be in an office
Yeah,
and learn how to work with people if you don't work from
yeah.
home.
I saw an interesting post from somebody who was saying that like all these people talking about how they're not getting jobs, and it's that like there's basically four like AI corporate business something or others, and so if you get a bad score on one, it just bleeds into all of them. So like you have
Mm,
really no chance. So you have to like really kind of figure out what that algorithm is to make sure that you're like getting into that place. Somebody gave me a tip once. This is very early on, where you copy and paste a job
hmm
description
Into your
and you
resume.
put it
Yeah.
in like the footer or the header in white ink at the smallest point so that whatever keyword like you're automatically going to jump right to the top. I'm
Right.
like, well, that's fucking brilliant. Like
Yeah.
some salesperson thought of that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was, looking for another, God, I
Yeah.
hadn't looked for a job in over 20 years.
Yeah.
And I started, looking at my resume and I'm like, and then uh, I started looking at stuff online and it was, use words from the job description in your
Yeah,
resume.
For
And
sure.
the screening
specific
AI
words. Yeah.
will pick that up.
Yeah.
And it's not about what your titles and
No.
it's about what you've done. You don't put on your resume, this is what I was, all the lists of my skills. They want to see, okay, I increased
Right.
sales in my division over 10% over the last year. It's like they want to see results. So
Yeah.
it's important to put that stuff in, but keep it to one page. Nobody wants a 2-page resume. So,
The whole process is
yeah. But
it's like you
still,
do the resume and you give them the resume and then you have to do the application, which is
hmm
basically taking your resume and putting it into different pieces.
hmm
And then you have to answer these questions and you can't just say see resume because they
right.
don't look at the resume,
hmm
and you have to answer the question in a way that is very like it says, tell me your experience using Excel. It can't just be I use Excel every day in my day. It has to be I
Specific.
use Excel to gather lists of
hmm
names and addresses and compare like it
Yeah.
you have to give them super super detailed
I
information,
use
which
Excel to get my ass into the Excel World Championships in Vegas in December. Anyway, no, you're exactly right. It's you have to get specific so that
It's
because the
yeah.
technology they use to screen that stuff now, you're gonna just get kicked right
Yeah,
out. And
right. For the past 10 years, I've been using Excel to manage daily numbers and blah blah blah, manage
hmm
inventory by comparing and over like you have to
yeah.
it's a wordsmith game.
Well, and then there's also little like psychological things you can do when you're looking for a job is you call the company and you say, hey, is there someone that I can talk to about, I have questions about the job, I mean, it's like you kind of get yourself in front there where they're going to remember you. Oh yeah, she called in about the job instead of just putting your, I mean, if you can, a lot of companies you can't, but
I can't.
at this
I
point in
remember
life, I
there
don't care. It's like,
Was
hey,
it
hire me, don't hire me. I don't give a shit. But it still
what
comes
was it
down to, you know, it very rarely comes down to you get a job through LinkedIn. It has to do with, oh, somebody in the neighborhood. Oh, my ex so and so works for this company and they're hiring. Hey, go in and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's still how you get jobs.
The was it what's the Will Ferrell movie where they're the Step Brothers, where they go in and they're in tuxedos, and I was like, God, could you imagine if you showed up to an interview in, so I'm like, if you just showed up in like your wedding dress, like you like right
Yeah.
you like if you're but if you think about, like, let's say it's a job about creativity or
hmm
social media or marketing or
Yeah.
something that has that kind of aspect to
Right.
it,
That would be so
it
fun.
can't hurt.
No.
You will
Something in
certainly
the
be
creative
memorable.
arts.
Right, it's formal. It's not like you're not like you don't
Uh,
want to go in like a clown suit to be remembered. Like you show up in a wedding gown.
Okay. Prom dress.
Oh, fuck. It'd be so fun.
I did one time. I had this is terrible. This is really shallow, but I was interviewing a guy for a position and he was dressed very nice, but he had on like it was a suit where at one point the jacket and the pants matched, but like I think he wore the pants a lot more than he ever wore the jacket.
So it's
And
worn.
so the pants were a completely like different shade, but it was obvious it was a suit that was bought as a suit. And it distracted me. It distracted me from the interview. And that's how I remember that guy. I do, yeah, he was very skilled. He did have all the qualifications and training and all that. But the thing I remember about him most was his mismatched suit.
It's funny how we
So-
think of those weird things.
I know. All right, well, go forth and
All right, well,
kill it out there, kids.
Conquer,
Take that corporation for
forth
all,
and
all
conquer
you
today.
can.
conquer the day.
Conquer the day. All right.
All right. Peace out.
Peace in the Middle East.